Okay, everyone, so it is Monday, September 17th, and today is actually the first day that I'll be changing the bag by myself at home. I left the hospital last Friday. I changed it in front of the ostomy nurse. She didn't really help me, but I did it. She walked me through it. So today's the first day at home, doing this on my own. Trying to videotape this first experience. I don't really know how this is going to go. So bear with me if it ends up being a big, long, involved process. I may try to edit down the video so you don't all have to fumble through this with me. The past two times when I changed the bag in the hospital or when we did it, I was very fortunate that in between the time of taking off the old bag and putting the new one on, there was no output coming out. So it was very clean, shall we say. This time, I'm not really sure. What I did this morning is I still haven't had breakfast, and I went for a walk in the hopes that that was going to kind of push everything through my system that had been there from the nighttime. So I'm hoping we're going to have a relatively clean process this time. What I'm also going to do this time is it's been a week, and I'm going to just double check the size of the stoma. There's actually a cardboard sizer that I'll show you in a minute. So the time to change the bag today is probably going to take a little longer than it normally would. Another reason it may take a little longer today too is because I'm going to use a different system today for the bags. My stoma nurse gave me a couple to try that actually have a vent system up here that allow the gas to escape so the bag doesn't necessarily bloat up with gas. She said different people have different amounts of success with them, so she just wants me to try them and find out how it works for me. The ending is it's still a Hollister bag, that's the brand name company, but the bottom of the bag has changed a little bit. I guess this is the new way they're going to go with the bags. There's actually a flip over closure now, and it still unrolls. But before we used to have to fold a crease in it, and now they've made these plastic strips a little bit more springy, so when you go to empty, you can just kind of squeeze them and you don't have to put that crease in there. But they still do fold up, and then now they just have this extra little piece that goes across the top of it. So when you do change your bag, always make sure your new bag is already closed when you put it on in case something happens when you're putting the bag on and you start waste starts coming out, that the bottom of the bag is closed. The other thing about these new bags that I'm going to try today is they're a two-piece system. So my old bag, what they call flange, the part that sticks right over the stoma, and the bag were all one piece. This bag actually comes in two pieces. So this is what they call the flange, I believe. I hope my terminology is correct, but I think that's correct. And this back part is the part that I'll make sure I have the right size to my stoma, and then I'll cut this correctly. I'll peel this backing off, and then this will go directly over the stoma, and then this is a rubber seal, and then the bag also has a matching partner piece for the rubber seal, and they actually fit in there together, so they snap. They snap in together. So this kind of a bag, like I said, it has a vent, the gas, which allows the gas to escape. But the other benefit of a two-piece system is that if I go somewhere and I don't have access to a toilet or can't really empty the bag, you can buy disposable bags where if the bag fills up, you just take the bag off, put it in a Ziploc bag to throw away in the garbage, and then you can put another bag on. If you can't drain the bag. So anyways, that may take a little bit more time today because I'm kind of getting used to this whole new system. But I'm going to show you in a second here. I have everything laid out. The ostomy nurse said, and from everything I've read and other videos I've watched and people I've talked to, the big thing is prep. So you want to make sure you have everything ready to go when you're doing this process so you don't have to run and get anything, because the big thing with the stoma is it kind of goes when it wants to. You don't have any sensation there. You can't tell when anything's going to come out, so you want to be prepared for everything if you can. So I'm going to move the camera over here to at least show you everything that I have in place. here's the two pieces of the bag. I have a couple different sets of towels here. One of them I'll get wet, one of them I'll keep dry to clean the stoma area. This is a little flange ring that's actually going to go over the back side of this piece to help the seals, to keep the liquid off of my skin, to keep the skin in better shape. And I have my scissors, my marker. These are those sizing cardboards I was telling you about. You just take this and slide it over the stoma of what size you think it is, and then it tells you, it gives you a tracing area that you can actually put on the flange to cut out the proper hole. This is the stoma powder, and I know I need that because I did have a little area on my stoma in the hospital that needed a little bit of powder. And then this is some no sting skin prep after the powder goes on. Just kind of sprinkle that over. It helps seal the skin and adheses the powder, or keep the powder on the skin. So I'm gonna set the camera up here. Hopefully it'll be at a good angle. We're gonna drop it down a little bit. Just trying to make sure I could see. I need to drop down much more. I think I need a camera assistant for this stuff. There, so I think that'll help. I did empty the bag beforehand because I think that's probably helpful, so the bag's not weighted down when you're going. So the first thing the stoma nurse said, there's different ways to do all this, but I really liked her idea. She said just get a grocery bag, and you can actually tuck it into your pants, so that way you have an automatic garbage. If anything happens, if anything comes out, it goes right in the garbage bag. When you take this bag off, you can just drop it right in the bag. You don't have to worry about moving around to put anything anywhere. So I kind of like this whole system. You could put the wipes when you're done wiping everything right in the bag. When you're done, you tie it up and you can take it and throw it out in the garbage. So I think that's a good idea. The other thing I noticed when I was in the hospital is because my torso is so long and I tend to have a crease right along here when I sit down, for me it's better to change the bag in standing, because if I can adhere the new bag onto my skin when the skin's extended, it won't pull as much later. And so if I'm sitting down and put the bag on and then I try to stand up, it pulls on my skin. So that is that so far. I'm going to wet some of these rags, or these wipes. I guess they're not rags, just so I have them. And then what we're going to start with is gently peeling away the adhesive from my skin. I'm just trying to separate these all out so when I need them, I can grab them relatively easily. And of course, for those of you that do know me, I am a huge germ freak. Which is kind of difficult when you're looking at a bag that produces waste. But it's actually not as bad. And there really hasn't been much of a smell, because I wondered that, and I've heard differing things. I've heard if you have a colostomy, where there's the ostomy from the colon as opposed to an ileostomy, which is what I have. I've heard a colostomy can have a little bit more odor because that's where the bacteria is in the colon. There's a little bit of a smell sometimes, but it seems like it mostly smells like whatever I ate. I don't really notice, intense odors and things like that. So here we go. I'm gonna start, find a corner here. And it's kind of easy sometimes to pull the skin away from the adhesive instead of ripping the adhesive off of your skin. I also had asked the stoma nurse, how the hair was going to work, because I'm a little bit hairy, not a lot, thank God. And she said, actually, I'm kind of moderate, what she would call moderately hairy from what she's seen. So some people shave, some people don't. She said it's just going to be up to you and how you tolerate pulling and things. So they shaved me in the hospital for surgery, and I haven't really touched it since. And I'm not planning on shaving right there anyways right now because it's still a little sensitive. So the outer ring of the bag I have taken off. Now I'm actually pulling my skin away from the adhesive of the ring, which is a little bit more stiff as we go. And you just kind of walk your way around everything. And I mean, it pulls a little bit, it's not painful. So still just kind of trying to move it all the way around. Little bits of hair getting stuck I can feel now. Now I'm getting down to that extra ring that we had put on, which this ring seems to really do well, apparently. She did say it's normal to have a little bit of blood bleeding sometimes, especially because my incision is still relatively new and I was on heparin. For a little bit. Some of those hairs are a little uncomfortable. There's a little bit of waste in there. So the bag is off. I'm going to drop it right in there. And I'm going to use the wet wipes that I had prepared to basically wipe everything. It's really weird. The stoma itself, there is no sensation. So it feels kind of weird. Just wiping everything as much as I can. And I don't have it scheduled yet, but I have my follow-up in a couple weeks, and I'm sure that I'll change the bag. Then for the nurse. I'm gonna pause here.